The head of the Royal Air Force has spent much of his career flying helicopters, and on arrival at Camp Bastion he quickly makes for a Chinook.
Drilling holes into your knees to get lines in, it's just quite remarkable.
Air Chief Marshal Sir Andrew Pulford wants to meet some of the people who've given the aircraft its starring role in Helmand. MERT, Medical Emergency Response Teams, have made the Chinook the British Force's most effective ever battlefield air ambulance. The speed at which MERT helicopters have treated and flown the wounded to hospital has saved many who in previous conflicts would have died.
Right, who we got then?
There may be fewer British casualties these days, but the combat mission won't end until the end of the year. It's why the Air Force still has Tornado strike aircraft in Afghanistan, and the Army Air Corps still flies Apache attack helicopters. Meeting their crews out here has been a top priority for Britain's most senior Air Force officer. Well, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Chief Marshal Sir Andrew Pulford, is with me now. Sir Andrew, this is your first visit to Afghanistan as head of the Air Force. I mean, what are your impressions?
Well, first afternoon as Chief of the Air Staff with them here in Afghanistan. Significant change since I was last here. And a force which is beginning to look to a year of change in terms of removing itself from Afghanistan in that war-fighting sense and transition at the end of the year.
And as far as the Air Force is concerned, what is the main focus now?
Focus is on another year of hard work, another year of being in harm's way, and notwithstanding that the focus by December is an end to combat operations, to ensuring that all the hard work of all the years that have gone beforehand are not lost. We maintain the focus, we maintain the effort, and we deliver air power right through to December 14.
Now, your background is in helicopters. Many people describe Afghanistan as a showcase for the helicopter. Presumably that's still continuing for the time being.
Well, my experience is it doesn't matter where the British military go, it's a showcase for the helicopter force of all three services. The Commando Helicopter Force, the Apaches, the Lynx of the Army Air Corps, and of course the Merlins and the Chinooks over many years have committed themselves fully. And if you look at the numbers of the hundreds of lives that must have been saved by the MERT teams, the medics, the doctors, the paramedics in the back of the helicopters, fundamental to operations here in Afghanistan.
Well, of course, the Tornado has played a key role here in Afghanistan over many years, but sadly in the next 18 months or so, some of the squadrons are due to disappear. What will happen to their crews?
Well, first let's talk about Tornado in Afghanistan. Again, a key part of the offensive air capability of ISAF, both in terms of its tactical reconnaissance with its Raptor pod, the eyes in the sky, but also, of course, the ability to put bomb on target and to bring to an end a tick when required. In terms of the future, the downsizing is all part of the transition. The outcome of SDSR was to see the Tornado force reduce in size as the Typhoon force increases in size. And indeed, we'll see by the end of the decade the Tornado force retiring and coming to an end. The crews themselves, they'll be reorganized, they'll be posted to different places, but between now and the end of the decade, an awful lot of hard work to do, as we've seen not only here in Afghanistan, but a return to contingency, getting back into war fighting alongside the Expeditionary Air Wings and the Expeditionary Air Group that supports the aircraft in the air, all the people of the Tornado force beginning to refocus post-Afghanistan on contingency operations.
So you mentioned the eyes in the sky capability. Is this something that the Typhoon will also have? Will it be a worthy and capable successor to the Tornado?
Oh, and more. Typhoon is fourth generation fighter as opposed to third generation. It's more capable, it's more reliable, it's more available, it's cheaper to operate, and it will bring a significant improvement in our combat air capability into the future.
One thing at the moment, one problem here at the moment in Afghanistan is that the bilateral security agreement, which will keep forces, international forces in Afghanistan beyond this year, has not yet been signed, and it's unlikely to be signed for a while. How difficult does that make the job of people like yourself in planning for either an exit or no exit?
Well, the great beauty of being in the military is you're ready for anything. and we will leave the security agreement to the Americans and the Afghans. The important thing is the British military are looking at all the options that are available. We've got a timeline. We know December 14 is the dictate, and we will ensure we've got the agility and the flexibility to adjust our force levels and adjust our plans in accordance with any changes that come along.